Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling a scenario that literally keeps plant managers up at night, the regulatory inspection. Whether it's the FDA, the EMA, or the WHO walking through those doors, the pressure is just immense. But what if we could take that pressure and actually transform it into total confidence? Let's dive right in and look at a highly structured, proactive approach to GMP inspection readiness using a 90-day countdown. You know the exact feeling, right? An inspection is announced, and suddenly, boom, it's a frantic scramble. Entire teams are rushing to close out overdue CAPAs, those corrective and preventative actions. People are hunting down incomplete logbooks, rushing through delayed training modules, and scrubbing the factory floor like their jobs depend on it. It's a highly stressful, panicked reaction, and it happens way too often across the industry. But here's the hard truth. Experienced regulatory inspectors see right through all of it. Because really, here's the core issue. There's a massive difference between a facility that's just been freshly tidied up for a visit and a facility that's actually operating in true compliance mode. Inspectors aren't there to be impressed by last-minute organization. They demand rock-solid proof that your factory operates securely and compliantly every single day. If your preparation only starts the minute the inspection is announced, well, you're already behind. So, how do we fix this? We're going to follow a proactive 90-day roadmap. We'll start by looking at quality systems at the 90-day mark, move through operational compliance at 60 days, focus on employee readiness at 30 days, hit that 7-day final countdown, and ultimately wrap up with how to build everyday compliance. Let's start the clock. All right, milestone 1, 90 days before inspection, evaluating quality systems. At this 90-day mark, we are zoomed way out. You're looking at the macro-level health of your facility. For plant managers and quality assurance folks, getting a head start right here is absolutely crucial to avoiding a cascade of unwanted stress down the line. Systemic health is your #1 priority right now. First up, dig into those quality metrics. You need to hunt for reoccurring deviations, unresolved customer complaints, or out-of-specification results. Recurring issues are a huge red flag because they point directly to systemic weaknesses. Second, verify your validation programs. Are your process validations, cleaning validations, and water system qualifications fully up to date? Check for overdue requalifications immediately. And third, and this is a big one, conduct thorough mock inspections. But hey, don't just use your standard internal audit team. Bring in external, experienced auditors to mirror an actual regulatory inspection across production, labs, and documentation. You really need an unbiased view to catch what you might be completely blind to. Moving right along to Phase 2, 60 days before inspection, verifying operational compliance. At 60 days, our focus shifts from those macro systems down to the daily application of good manufacturing practices on the production floor. This is exactly where things tend to slip through the cracks. Think about it. Missing signatures on batch manufacturing records, incomplete equipment logbooks, maybe overdue instruments on calibration records. Inspectors are going to randomly pull these completed reports. If an inspector pulls a file and sees a clear trend of missing verification signatures on cleaning records or calculation errors in lab worksheets, your systemic weakness is totally exposed. You've got to catch these trending errors right now. But, it's not just about paper anymore. Modern regulatory evaluations are heavily focused on electronic documentation and data integrity. So the absolute crucial point here is ensuring all COA plus conformity, which basically means your data has to be attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate. You need to verify your audit logs, ensure proper access rights and passwords are in place, and confirm your electronic systems provide complete and traceable data. If an inspector finds out that operators are, say, sharing passwords, that is an immediate, severe finding. All right, the clock is ticking. 30 days before inspection, preparing employees. Listen, you can have the most effective, beautifully designed quality systems in the world, but their value zeroes out if your employees can't actually explain them to an inspector. So at 30 days, managers need to conduct practical interviews. Imagine I'm the inspector and you're a quality control analyst. I ask you, what do you do if system suitability fails? Or how do you handle an out-of-specification result? Your team needs to be ready to answer these questions confidently and clearly. Let's try another one, this time for your production personnel. How do you check equipment for sanitation before production begins? And what exactly are you going to do if you find an incorrect entry in the batch record? The answers shouldn't be high-level theory. They must be practical and tied directly to what happens on the floor. And one more, just for the engineering folks. How do you ensure critical equipment is qualified? What happens if preventative maintenance is overdue? The big thing you should take away from this is that employees shouldn't be reciting memorized scripts. Their answers absolutely must stem from a deep, working understanding of your facility's actual standard operating procedures. Also, at the 30-day mark, your paperwork needs to be completely airtight. We're talking site master files, validation plans, training matrices, your SOP index. Organize a master list for these right now. You absolutely do not want an inspector sitting in awkward silence in a conference room while you frantically dig through filing cabinets for environmental monitoring data. In these situations, convenience equals speed, and speed shows competence. We've reached the final stretch, 7 days before inspection. Confirming readiness. Okay, this is not the time to overhaul your processes or, repaint the entire factory floor. This final week is strictly about verification and logistics. You need to perform a meticulous final facility walkthrough. Look for those physical red flags that inspectors spot a mile away. Are there damaged walls or leaking ceilings? Any dust accumulation? Are materials stored improperly or are emergency exits blocked? These are simple, everyday housekeeping issues that can be quickly resolved, but if an inspector finds them first, it sets a terrible tone for the rest of the audit. Next up, finalize your logistics. First, double-check those training records, because incomplete annual GMP training is a major, glaring red flag. Second, finalize your inspection team roles. Who exactly is the document controller? Who are the subject matter experts? Everyone has to know exactly how they're going to communicate, and who takes the lead during the audit. And third, set up that inspection room. Ensure the internet actually works, a printer is available, and all key contact info is right there, ready to go. And this brings us to the day before the inspectors arrive. I want you to share this golden rule with your entire staff. Double verify before responding. Guessing just leads to more questions. Remind your team that it's completely fine and actually preferred to pause, tell the inspector you want to verify the information, and then provide a completely accurate response. Because an incorrect guess, that just triggers a cascade of unnecessary scrutiny. Finally, let's zoom back out and look at the big picture, making inspection readiness part of daily operations. You see, when facilities treat inspection readiness as a one-off cram session, they make really easily avoidable errors, closing unverified CAPAs just to hide them, making last-minute revisions to a dozen SOPs, or looking at documents retrospectively instead of reviewing them in real time. Trust me, inspectors are not fooled by these superficial cleanups. They care about effective, living, breathing systems. There's this quote from our source material that just hits the nail on the head here. It says, "Companies performing well on inspections do not have excellent systems, but disciplined practices and capable employees." It's so true. Compliance isn't about having a beautiful binder of procedures sitting on a shelf. It's about the daily, systematic discipline of the real people actually running the plant. When you integrate things like quarterly mock inspections and regular document audits right into your normal workflow, readiness just becomes second nature. So, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought to reflect on today. If regulatory inspectors arrived at your facility tomorrow morning, would it be a chaotic, totally stressful event, or would it just be a routine confirmation of your daily good practices? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, here's to turning panic into absolute preparation.